20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have never, ever said that I would do something like this. Never.
But Donna Deegan, the first woman mayor of Jacksonville.
You hate to act like women have talents that men don't have, but...
Oh, yeah, I didn't say that.
And I'm kidding in a way. But I think women tend to be very, very collaborative with one another. I think we tend to not care so much who gets the credit for things as long as we get them done. I think women are very used to being underestimated and very used to being sort of put in a box. They're good at this, but they're not necessarily good at this. And I think we're pretty much good at everything because we have to be.
And her inspiration? Her father.
And he said, you should always be exactly who you are because people are going to like you or they're not. But at least they'll know that what they see is what they get.
And what you may not know, years ago, Deegan donated her kidney to her dad.
And it allowed us to have him for many more years. He still died when I was 28 years old. We had him for about 10 more years. But I think about him all the time, and I miss him every single day.
And you know what I will never forget, and I can still hear it, is your dad's opera voice. Mm-hmm. I heard that recording.
I went to every opera in the world you can possibly imagine to hear him sing. He was actually a runner-up at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City, and had the most beautiful tenor voice in the entire world.
A recording to treasure. And did she inherit the talent?
I'm sad I never got his gift. He tried to give me music lessons when I was young, but then when he found out that I liked Pat Benatar better than I liked opera, it was all over, right?
So now, from opera to football.
So let me ask you, are you honestly worried at all that we could lose the Jaguars?
I'm really not, Jeannie. I never really have been worried about that.
But to build the proposed stadium of the future, that could top $1 billion. I asked Deegan about a quote from longtime journalist Mike Clark, writing for our partner, the Florida Times-Union.
And he said, yeah, it was hard for us to get the team. But make no mistake, financing a major renovation of the city's football stadium will be another nearly impossible feat. Without a major stadium upgrade, Jacksonville will lose the Jaguars when the contract runs out in 2030.
It's a big issue, and it is tricky.
I think you hear a lot of folks say, oh, well, this is the Jaguars saying it's my way or the highway. I don't feel that way at all. I think both of us really want to get to a point of yes.
Okay, options.
And so looking at Nashville, as you know, they've announced they're doing this new stadium, and they're getting $500 million from the state. But we know Florida doesn't pay for stadiums. Is that a law? Would you be willing to go to Tallahassee, maybe alone or with the Jaguars, and lobby for a change in that so some state money could come into this project?
I don't want to put the cart before the horse here. And so I don't want to get into specifics of all the different ways in which this could happen. What I will tell you is that I have Mike Weinstein, who has been somebody who has been working on complex deals in this city for a very long time, bringing me a menu of options of things that we could come back to the Jaguars.
And that 50-50 split in the cost.
There are a lot of people who say, no, wait a minute, we're talking about taxpayer money, people who are hard-working, ordinary folks. And then you have Shad Khan on the other side, one of the wealthiest men in the world, a mega billionaire. Would you be willing to ask for, say, 40-60?
I think that this is a stadium that I personally would like to see stay in the hands of the city. I know some people have said, let Mr. Khan have that stadium and do what he wants with it. I would like for the city to keep that stadium because I think there are so many ways in which we could use it for good. I understand that Florida and Georgia are both very, very excited about the prospect of a new stadium. But beyond that, yes, I think we could get a Super Bowl. I think we could get a college playoff game. I think those are all things. I think we could get bigger concerts and bigger entertainment.
But is she sure it would be economic gold? An article in the Journal of Economic Surveys looked at a summary of 130 studies over 30 years. The overall theme, quote, large subsidies devoted to constructing professional sports venues are not justified as worthwhile public investments. The article cites overwhelming evidence of their economic impotence. Deegan's reaction? She asked about the issue at a national conference of mayors.
And I had a number of conversations with people who have had negotiations on stadium deals. And what they've said is initially people are very skeptical. They don't want to get involved in them. And at the end of the day, people are thrilled once they have the asset in their community. I think it is more than just looking at the straight dollars and cents.
But tackling stadium upgrades, just one giant issue for Deegan.